found out more.
It's terrible. Have you heard about the new Minecraft movie?
No.
And then there was JKM. And that is exactly how that joke ends. I'm kidding. JKM obviously stepping into that lineup. But I'm going to have to kick it to one of my own dad jokes. And it's, you know what? Why don't crabs give to charity?
I don't know.
No idea.
Why?
It's because they're too shellfish. See what I did there? Can I get a bottom tisk? No? Guys, you got to get dad jokes? You got anything good for me?
I go, okay, so what does the 747, what kind of sound does the 747 make when it bounces?
When it bounces?
Yeah.
That's
during
not
landing.
one that I'm trying to hear. But please.
Yeah, boing, boing, boing.
That's good. It's not bad.
It's a solid one.
Do you have any comedic gold for us?
Nah, yeah, okay, I got a little one, you know. Why do you never buy anything with Velcro?
With Velcro?
Velcro? I can't think of a few reasons, but
Carry on.
It's a total ripoff.
all right.
Well, one last one, and it's why couldn't the bicycle stand up? Tell me why, pimp. Tell me why couldn't the bicycle
Because it
stand up?
needed a wheel. I don't know.
Nope.
That's why.
Because it was too tired.
Oh.
That one's a thinker. I think that's more of a mind game thing here. Sort of like this Renegades and Luminosity matchup, where in which we haven't seen too much from the Luminosity camp. Renegades obviously having brought in JKM now in what could be a trial basis, what could be a full-time basis. We can speculate. But ultimately, that is our next matchup. We're going to be going head-to-head on the two maps there. Guys, where do we stand on this one?
I mean, obviously, I think the highlight that we have to point out with Renegades is them losing Nafly and bringing in Jacob. And Jacob has been, well, more or less AWOL from the top level of CS for quite some time now. Obviously, we saw him playing with FaZe as his last big team, but since then he's also been a part of Dignitas and the Norwegian team that was meant to be called Noreg, but that obviously ended as soon as he got the offer from Renegades.
Right.
I mean, the story around Jacob probably more about him being some sort of wasted talent, I'd say. He's supposed to be the second best Norwegian player out there with Rain, or he at least was back in the days when he was playing on FaZe with Rain himself, but he kind of fell off somehow and completely disappeared out into the wire. And if you look over his teams, he started out in Copenhagen Wolves, then moved on to G2 Esports and FaZe Clan. That's some pretty prominent names you see out there. Obviously not the same rosters as they are today, so let's not mistake that. But just given the fact he played for some of the biggest organizations out there, Team Dignitas as well, obviously, it tells a story that this kid has talent. For some reason, though, he has just not managed to pull through the last 2 years, and this might be his last chance to actually pull off, a great move and show himself to the world that he can be that great player we all think he is.
Yeah, and I mean, we've already talked about confidence and how that kind of affects a player in a big way, and what we saw, then what kind of difference it makes with a team like Cloud9, for instance. And we kind of saw Jacob hit his pinnacle during Cluj-Napoca with G2, where he just was lights out the entire tournament. Everybody thought that, okay, this is where he makes his mark. This is where he becomes, a regular face at the top of the scoreboard. But then just completely fell off as time passed. And obviously, it could be due to roster changes within the team. He gets different roles that he's not necessarily as comfortable with. But he definitely didn't live up to those expectations, which is a shame. And I think you're absolutely right when you say that this is probably his last chance. Because if he can't make it work now, then who's going to take the chance on him going forward? It's going to be a big question mark. You're not going to want to invest too much money into a player who's repeatedly not being able to kind of bring the goods.
Well, bringing the goods is something Luminosity will have to do here. I mean, they haven't seen a lot of play time since the player break, since Christmas break. Coming into this matchup relatively cold on the boards. But what can they hope to do here other than obviously win the match, Pimp?
Obviously win the match. We saw them last at the Pro League finals in Odense, and I think was pretty promising what we saw from them. They went on to ECS as well, but let's not talk about that because that wasn't too great. Right? But at ESL Pro League, they played well, and they exceeded everyone's expectation, I'd say. They did a long boot camp out to the event, and they were trying really, really hard to make that playoff. Unfortunately for them, they got a hard group. But there's some big talent on this team. It's probably the second best, or it is the second best Brazilian team we got right now, as we don't know where X Immortals is right now in the world.
Yeah.
So that's easy to say. So we need to see some more from these guys. And I think as of lately, they've been trying to improve. We haven't seen them play as well. They're coming in cold. But I think that's a good sign because these guys are just like the SK guys. Their mentality is sharp on, and they practice hard, and they practice harder than anyone else right now. So I think this is one of those, and that's one we talk about often, at least within the pro circle. Some teams just care more about online games. And for this is their major. ESL Pro League is all Luminosity got, and that's where they got to show off their absolutely best.
I'm going to quote the great PTR when I say this. A little heart and soul is what they play with. I believe is exactly the terminology you could use. But there is such a passionate base there. And ultimately, them having to come into the season, they need to make a showing here. They need to make a presence.
Yeah, and they've got great role models, obviously, to look up to in SK. I mean, they can, blatantly steal whatever SK is doing or ask for advice and hopefully get it as well. And they have been progressing for each season of Pro League, doing constantly better and better. I think the Pro League playoffs, as you mentioned, were actually a big eye-opener for a lot of people because people expected them to come into the group, get smashed, go home. Instead, they had competitive games in all of their group stage matches. They beat Hellraisers, they beat Team Liquid as well. So they could take a lot of positives out of that event. Obviously, ECS didn't go according to plan, but for a fairly fresh team in that sense, from playing big tournaments, that's valuable experience for them to grab onto and actually work with as they go further. And they're also one of the few teams that haven't had massive roster change-ups like a lot of the other teams in the Pro League did in the offseason.
Well, guys, you've got roughly 5 seconds, and I'm just going to tell you how it is right now. I need to know your predictions here. We're going to be going to Cash and Cobble. Kicking it off on Cash, where do you see this one laying?
Netfly is leaving too big of a gap for Jacob to fill out. It's going to be a 2-0 for Luminosity.
Damn, straight up.
I'm believing in the Renegades. I'm actually going 2-0 for Renegades.
And I am going to go 2-0 for Renegades as well, just in the spirit of Chad himself, who is probably laying in his hotel room ever so comfortably. Either way, let's go ahead and tie in these other guys who are hardworking individuals in Harry and Moses, who will be bringing us this action.
Yes, thank you, Trace. We will bring you all the action in this Renegades versus Luminosity matchup, and it is the first look at Jacob, which is going to be a lot of fun. Pimp's gone 2-0 for Luminosity. I'm really enjoying this guy's predictions. He's bringing a hot game today.
Yeah, I mean, can I ask what way you're going then, Jason?
I'm going to go 2-0 for Renegades.
I'm gonna go 1-1. I think I'm just gonna right down the middle, split the series.
Naturally.
Sit on the fence if you don't know anything. That's what I say.
Yeah, you love to see that. Here is the hit out T mid right now. Nekis is waiting for it, and he spotted one out, but he's not entirely sure where he is. That's gonna be Jacob actually. Now gone through the vents towards Checker, so applying some pressure over towards the B bomb. So this is forcing a rotation. Look at the mini-map. All those blue dots going away, and here comes the hit out the door. Showtime has got a lot to do, and he's answering the call. 2 kills for him, and the bomb is dropped out in the open. This flank now, or I mean, this push in towards B has actually backfired entirely. Yustilo has got to hold on for quite a long time, if he could even get the bomb.
Yeah, I mean, the one good thing for them here is actually Luminosity have deviated away from this A bomb side. They're going to go play it from mid instead. Weary, of course, of the flank that could be coming in from behind. He's still going to go down. And Jacob, now 1v4. They get that bomb down. Luminosity playing for the retake here. Start to make their way in, and Jacob, latest addition to the squad, had to step up, but instead he will get shut down. A 1v4 is, of course, a bit much to ask. Not sure even if the legendary NAF could have pulled that one off.
No, absolutely, more than likely not. I mean, first of all, that's an incredible round from Showtime. He was all alone. Everyone from Luminosity had even abandoned the idea of the A bomb site being under attack. That was sick. These are amazing shots. Obviously, that second one, I mean, the first one is just first bullet. The second one coming out is just more than you could ever hope for in that scenario, is him against the world. The fake from Renegades worked so perfectly. I mean, that strategy was phenomenal up until Showtime ruins it. So, fair play to him. At least the plant goes down. That's a victory of itself. So, Renegades, you can see, not investing into this round. They're going to wait for the third to get the AK-47s on board, to get some of those rifles out, and try and turn it around quickly. But for this time, at least for the moment, for this round, there's not a whole lot they can bring to bear. So Showtime's going to continue opening things up. And confident to take the fights is Cello at long range.
Yeah, Yell's about to have 2 players come his way. Plus is able to get one, but the trade is swiftly found by PKL. Over in mid. Nekis waits. He's not going to find anything just yet. JKS now to grab himself a P250. And they're still looking to try and get something done here. Gonna regroup over towards the B-bomb site, but Cello and Showtime do reside here.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot left for them to do. I mean, I hate to say it, except to just kind of go die. They have no utility. They've got no real great weapons. I mean, that's nice. Take one gun out of their hands. Actually, that's not even recoverable. So that's actually a very impactful kill. I take it all back. They had something remaining to do in the round. They've proven me wrong. But that's going to be an M4. It's going to have to be rebought on the LG side. So, you know, the best that you could have hoped for as Renegades.
Yeah, now the buy does come in for Renegades, and you can see that Luminosity aren't opting to rebuy on the 2 SMG players that carried those forward in the previous round. Looking to try and get this round for free. Jacob is out in mid. Spotsneck is over on the white box to be sent back up through highway now. Has to reroute back around into Z.
This is pretty cool though from Renegades. I mean, they had 4 players initially over towards the A bomb, so I think they took a peek in towards A main. Now they're going to be boosting up, so they can be a little bit more free flowing with their rotations now, which is quite nice. The tough part is this boost can get very easily neutralized if Renegades do eventually decide to come up highway. That's kind of the counter to that, an awkward angle, especially if you're clearing the boost, which is commonly done as you come up highway. And it's 4 players in mid for Renegades. No intel that this is happening, but even with the boosted player, there's a pretty staunch defense at this site. There's still PKLs here, Cellos here. So this will be tough for Renegades regardless, and that smoke is going to slow down any kind of hit.
And now the peak comes out, they go rushing through it, and they do manage to catch Luminosity off guard. Cello's still alive, but he has a fantastic go. Locking it down at this site, 3 frags. And the bomb is still yet to go down. Mazza. Over here in quad. Nifty's going to go falling back into him. They can attempt to boost on over. But that would give away that both players are situated here. Goes in, forces them out of the open. Nifty there, takes the duel. It's all on Neckers. 1 versus 1. Starts to round the corner, the UMP will prevail, and Neckers gets the job done in the 1v1. Defuse to come on through, Luminosity secure themselves a 3rd round, all on the back of a pretty cheap buy as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, I guess you'd call it the bonus round in a way for at least the CT side when you still have some of those UMPs. Quite nice recovery and clutch, and that's now 2 rounds. If you go back to the pistol round as well, that's 2 pretty big heartbreaks for Renegades very early on in this match where you feel like they had some decent advantages to bring that forward. But, you know, a defense that you're probably not used to looking at if you're Renegades with 1 boosted player and 2 players still at the A bomb site, usually that allows them to rotate guys away. Luminosity off to a very good start, and the UMP back in Showtime's hands as well. The smoke is going to hold off and delay this hit a little bit longer. Showtime's going to have a lot of action. Pop flash through. He's going to hear all these footsteps. Hasn't seen anyone. There's the opening kill. Can't follow up.
And now it'll force the Cello. Hiding in the site. They have spotted him. They know that he's here. They go wrapping around, and Az is able to find it. Now, the rest of the guys inside of B are going to soak up all this attention like a sponge. Well, JKS does lurk behind in mid.
Should be a save call right now. Preserve the weapons you have if you're Luminosity. You've fought out, and there's no real avenue back into this that you can feel confident about. They do have utility, so they're going to go for it. Smokes and Molotovs to be deployed.
Yeah, now they start to peek out from heaven. The other man trying to take the fight on the back of the site. Flash goes in, time tick very low, and Jacob going to drop out PKL. It's all on Yell. He takes the duel up close, and Az is able to get the trade. Renegades do secure their 1st round. They save the AWP as well, and now for Luminosity, buying does become a tricky prospect.
Yeah, and now that's where that previous round where they got it down into a 1-on-1 is kind of crushing. And even that M4 they had to rebuy after the 2nd round that they kind of lost right at the end, weren't able to salvage. The economy is just kind of beat up. So LG back onto just the pistols. D goes out. Nifty's going to challenge at the AWP. More than happy to take that fight. Oh, and he's getting wrecked right through the box by Neckers. Some Deagle shots ring true, but Az is here to save the day. Still can creep up close, and he can get pop flashed over, but might not be necessary with Nifty chiming in with 1 more kill. There's Usilo in mid, taking down Yell. And Cello's going to bust out of vents. He's going to find a kill of his own, and he's still fighting, still getting some damage done into Aza, but just not a whole lot to play with for Luminosity.
Yeah, I mean, these USPs shouldn't be able to get too much more damage done. Az is going to finish things off over in mid. Renegades find a 2nd round. But now the buy comes back in for Luminosity. They'll be buying down at what they can. It's going to be rifles across the board. Showtime, it takes the hit so that he can get the extra utility. He has himself a Famis.
Someone had to do it. It's a dirty job. No kits on the board, though, which is always tough to swallow. 2 players mid, 1 player in checkers. It's Renegades who's getting close up underneath the boost box, so that Molotov is going to be great. How committed is Azza to punishing that? Not very. There was a player watching for that kind of peek. Yell is over by Sandbags, just waiting. There goes Azza. He's taken down by Yell. That was that player at Sandbags, so good find.
Right now, I mean, Renegades, they're just getting mopped up over in mid. Jacob goes down as well. 2 mana 5 taken from Luminosity. They have to end most of their utility. They've got 3 flashes left. That's not enough to try and stop a push in from the remaining Renegades players. Just going to have to use their sheer numbers to the advantage. Now Ustillo starts to make his way out in towards A. PKL has his work cut out for him. Yell rotates up from Highway. He still is able to find the first. PKL goes down. Yell, though, possible to trade, able to go ahead and get one. Nifty's fully flashed, and the limit utility that they do have is put to great effect. As Neckers is there to trade in the end. Luminosity secure themselves a 4th round, and Showtime just shy of picking up the M4 at the end there.
And that round's going to have big implications for the future as well. The fact that Luminosity is able to hold on to middle in that fashion, just like dominantly, they weren't even really pressured a whole lot, is going to be quite nice for them. It'll be interesting to see if Renegades still continues to go back to it on this T side, or if they kind of shy away because of how badly they were beaten there. This is a much more basics tactic for Renegades. All 5 players towards the A bomb site, likely just a smoke and a pop flash through. You have Yell with an AWP out in the open. Could get blinded by a flashbang. It'll be all up to PKL and Neckers to rotate over from Highway. Here come the smokes. There's the wall. The timing shot is not there. Neckers going to try and push up, and he wants to go through this smoke. He might be able to find timing, but with all 5 players of Renegades alive, surely they will be watching for this kind of a play.
He's still holding close to the smoke, though, and you can see he desperately wants to try and make his way through, and he will. Nifty's got no idea. In fact, no one has any clue as to what's going on. Spots out Nifty. Nifty's gone down. Now he could dismantle this boost as well, but he just gets shut down short. Man advantage up for Renegades. Nade able to go ahead and drop out. Ustillo. JKS still resides over on quad. Jacob peeks out, drops Showtime. Yell keeps things even. 2 versus 2. Time ticking away from them here, but JKS overextends a little bit. Jacob's left 1v2, but the time has ticked too low. And Renegades will find themselves a 3rd round.
Yeah, I mean, you can see some of the strength of just kind of a simple tactic like that, just like a simple execute. There was still a decent amount of utility left on some of those Renegades players for the postman, where they can drop a Molotov into the choke point. They can throw flashbangs to keep delaying time and allowing the bomb timer to go deep, which is quite nice. You have to say, shout out to Neckers. That was an incredible, bold play that he makes through that smoke with the M4. Gets the 1 kill on a Nifty at forklift with the AWP, which is a critical kill to get for his teammates' retake abilities. Just not able to kind of close it out as he wraps upon the site, but it was almost there. Nifty showing some confidence of himself, swinging out wide in mid. He's still getting close to the box. That nade trajectory will let him know someone is close to this box. There's the flashbang. It doesn't blind Neckers whatsoever, but he doesn't find the timing on the peak. Great opening from Ustillo. In that position, and Vents has been given up. Cello's got to fall back now, especially because of the fire.
And unfortunately for Renegades, there was no one there watching the drop down from Vents. But they've taken control of mid. It looks like Luminosity might try boosting Cello back up into Vents. They believe that it's clear now. He peeks out, but he still is able to find it. On the back of that, let's push towards B. Can begin. Showtime's there. He gets caught in the open. Ustillo's in with 3. The hat-trick has been found. And for Yell and PKL, save call very much called in, as they both now sit pretty up on A. Look to try and hold on to their weapons. Ustillo's going to come hunting.
Yeah, this hunt is actually huge. If Renegades is able to take these weapons out of Luminosity's hands, that'd be massive, especially the AWP. You can see them creeping across the map. This started early, so they've made a lot of progress. Yell, there's a great flick, and that's taken all the attention away from PKL. Gets 1 kill. He's traded off, but now Yell is trapped. 1 player in front, 1 wrapping from behind. He's got to choose to get aggressive somewhere. The timing's not with him. JKS peeks just as he looks away. Big wipeout for Renegades. 4 rounds apiece, but Renegades have the advantage of economy.
Now, you can see he's still going to be picking up the MAC-10. He looks to try and make some money here for Renegades in this round. There's nothing for Luminosity. They buy the 1 flash. They might try rushing somewhere. It's looking like it's going to be in towards main. Actually, change of direction as they go ahead, make their way onto highway.
Well, it's a pretty cool defensive setup from Luminosity. 1 flashbang, there it is. They were supposed to swing out wide with it. I think it blinded a couple of them. So, idea is good, execution not necessarily there. And you know, just unfortunately with that pop flash timing, you have to kind of guess how close the Renegades players are. And it was only 1 guy. The rest of them had all the range with the AKs. So, pretty easy elimination. Shots from Jacob, the new addition. And again, it's going to be 5 M4s. They're solid on utility. The one thing, again, that they're missing, as we saw previously, is the kits.
Yeah, and that has come back to punish them a couple of times in these afterplant situations. Now, Nifty, holding for the aggression over towards B. Haven't actually seen too much of that from Luminosity, but this might be the time that they attempt it. You can see Cello almost dancing with the idea. Yelp going to try his hand at some aggression in towards main. Has to be careful because Azza does reside over in Squeaky. 3 players still hanging around in mid. Nifty. Looking like he was going to head over towards Squeaky.
That noise, I imagine Azza just called out that he heard those footsteps, and he would likely call out for a boost and then some creative. Maybe because of the noise made, Luminosity gets creative in some mind games of their own. 1 player faking a jump or a drop, and the shot to mask his real drop, and Neck is just waiting in the corner, gets an easy kill into Usillo. Usillo's had a couple good entries in that fashion, and this could be a huge spray down, but it's not. A great trade from Jacob, and now the hit is on. There's no one inside the A bomb site. 1 smoke can block out this defense, and there it is. 2 of them, and flashbang rings out.
Yeah, they're pushing on in. Neckers is the only man who could do damage. The team flash denies any sort of frags being found. JKS going to drop him through the smoke, and now it's a 3-on-3, all even. And Azza just tapping away through the smoke here. JKS tries to do that much more. It's all on Cello. 1v2. He's been locked out of this round, and he's desperately trying to find some avenue back into this. Smoke going to start to dissipate. Jacob might be the one to provide it, but nope. He will be shut down as Renegades push on forward onto a 6th. Once again, that economy of Luminosity going to prove to be a real problem for them here.
That's so tough. Nekas again wants to make a play, and I think miscommunication with who's throwing the flashes and how many are coming in, but that second one just blinding him and putting him in such an awkward spot. That's unfortunately, but a good battle for Renegades as they had to get into that site. Back onto the pistols again for LG. After a couple hiccups early on, Renegades seem to be picking up steam. There's a good opening kill from JKS, but I don't think he spotted Showtime with the follow-up in that position. Still, Renegades with a 5-on-3, likely going to take this one slow, waiting for the peaks from Luminosity themselves. And JKS with the awareness still checking. Ooh, hello.
Neck is going to get 1. That's it for him, though. He still trades things out. Doesn't let the Deagle claim that much more damage. And Renegades now in with their 7th round. The buy can come in from Luminosity, and this is probably the best buy we've seen them have in quite some time. 2 AWPs in play. Showtime and Yell are going to be picking those up. And everyone with a decent amount of utility, all with the exception of Yell. Kits almost across the board as well. So this is the round if you're going to do it for Luminosity early on. Could have had Showtime try to go for a peek, but it said they boost him over. And this could very easily catch Renegades off guard.
We'll see. They're even more patient than we've seen in the past. No one even coming over towards Sunroom. And there's a timing on how long you can just stay stood up and boosted like that, so they fall off of it. Still silence across the map, which might be unnerving to Luminosity. There's generally been some form of pressure, some form of noise and presence shown elsewhere. It's not coming this time. just now at about the 1 minute mark.
Yeah, they get a Molotov out vents so that Nifty can secure some ground over in mid. Rest of the guys are over here towards B. And I mean, for Luminosity, they've had no signals as to what Renegades are up to yet.
Because of that, this B split is going to be so deadly. Like you said, there's no information. So this B split, when it comes in, if Nifty can hit just one shot or keep them pinned down in the site, this is going to be such a difficult bomb site to hold. The rotation is so far away as well.
Yeah, it all falls to Showtime and Chella. They have to try and hold the fort. Chella's able to find the first. Showtime misses that quick flick out, and Chella going to go down in the meantime. Showtime's close, misses the no-scope. Jacob in with a double entry. And now the bomber can go down. Neckers is the only man nearby. The rest of the guys only just leaving A, and that's it. They have to save in this scenario.
Yeah, there's 2 kits this time, but they don't have the utility to go for it. And yeah, they're already calling the save call. Yell's already back towards Squeaky Door, so is PKL over towards A. So yeah, that's the danger. If you don't have eyes on mid, you don't have that information that it's coming, and you play that static defense as well, you better be able to hold that site, and only 1 kill comes out for the B defense. And it's a great take. Great trades as from Renegades as they progress in. And now, once again, on the hunt, and I think they've spotted Yell with that jump. Obviously, shot doesn't come out, baiting it out. There it is, pushes him back into door, but gains more ground. But surely Nifty can't do a whole lot of damage. Baits out another shot. There's a good kill in a PKL. The AWP is in danger of going down, but it's going to hold strong. Opening the door, there's Neckers to greet JKS. They had to fight their way to keep those guns, but it's an 8th for Renegades.
Yeah, I'm curious as to what your opinion is on the fact that they haven't been putting anyone over in mid. Do you think that's something that's maybe perhaps kind of letting down this CT side a little bit? They had no information there, but if you had, you know, one of those AWPs perhaps over in mid, it could have been a different story.
Yeah, I think you need to have someone who's able to check it for that long of the round. To have no one there is kind of craziness. But I mean, again, we highlighted every time this conversation kind of comes up, is this is kind of why teams don't feel comfortable necessarily with cash, because it's not easy to hold mid as a CT. Even if you have all the utility and 2 players in mid, you're going to get beat at times just based off the execution of your opponent. So sometimes it's just a blind call to give it up that round, and you'll challenge it for the next one. Just unfortunate that round that at no point did Luminosity make any attempt. You have to get information somewhere, right? If you're not going to hold mid, that's fine, but you have to be able to, you have to take A main, right? You can't just have 3 players sitting at the site. You have to get your information from main. So that was I think the real loss.
Yeah, and this round, I mean, it looks to be more of the same. And no holdover in mid. PKL going to go down over towards, I believe that was A. Jacob. We dealt with JKS up in the bench, though. Looks to try and keep things in favor of Renegades. He does get 1 before Showtime's there to trade, and now the remaining players for Renegades start this take in towards B. Showtime is tagged extremely low, and he's going to get caught. Dropping down a headshot. Neckers and Yell left alive, and Neckers, he does manage to get past that incendiary. That catches them unaware. 30 seconds, time ticking away here. They have to move swiftly, and Neckers causing them some problems. Has managed to get this all even. 2 versus 2, and gonna stick Yell up on the boost. I like this. Sees the bomb going down. Az's gonna get dropped, and now it's Ustillo left. 1v2 over in checkers. Gonna be holding the angle for the cross from headshot. Perhaps back around. Neckers gets caught. He's gonna be shut down. Incendiary on Yell. Can try and deny that peek. Ustillo flashes in, takes the peek, but Yell wins out the duel. Defuse to come on in. And he's got enough time even without the kit. Luminosity, they will manage to pick themselves up a 5th round. As Neckers and Yell get it done in the retake.
Off the back of that boost as well. Yeah. That's a really cool boost. Poor Alza didn't even know it was coming whatsoever. He plants the bomb, he thinks all is good. He's probably communicating what he's going to do next, and just gets taken out. So really cool improvisation there from Luminosity. It does get them their 5th, but it was so costly. I mean, they only survived with 1 player who has an AWP. Even less utility than previous. UMP on Neckers as well, just so we can have more nades. So Renegades still firmly in the driver's seat, especially if they win this. I mean, there's no money left in the tank for Luminosity, so winning this for Renegades is almost like a 2-for-1. And again, picking up the pace, this time toward the A-bomb site. All 5 players here, and that's an incredible shot out in the open. Yell gets caught. Ustillo just drops him cold. And I think everything is pretty much lost for Luminosity. Thank God they took out the flank, or else there almost be no chance. And Jacob wins that fight, goes for more. He's got Cello pinned down. It's Ustillo to close it off. And that should be the ball game.
Yeah, even Showtime coming in on this flank thinks, maybe he can get something. But Az is in a great spot to shut it down. Showtime does find it, but he's going to get tagged low. They have all the information as to where the last man is. Has to save in this scenario. Renegades will be on to a 9th round. I mean, Nifty just going to go for the direct approach straight in through Squeaky, trying to hunt him down. They don't want to let him get away with anything.
The crazy thing, there's been so much money built up on Renegades that they can go for these hunts. Like, at some point, a T-side has to make that decision. Do we have enough money, even on our economy, which is more favored, to kind of chase these weapons down? And I mean, Jacob had, I think, 13,000 something before he bought and before he dropped over. So the Renegades, ever since they've kind of grabbed the momentum, have never had an issue with their money, so they can afford to throw 2 guns away, 3 guns away, just to take away the op of Luminosity at times. So it's a very nice T-Hap thing put together by the Australian core plus Nifty plus Jacob.
Cello's actually going to try and make his way up through mid. Nekis goes down. Cello now likes to try and slip on through, but Nifty reads the situation well. Instead, the answer back going to come from Yell. He does drop one. Showtime goes aggressive. JKS finds him. Yell not going to last very long over a mid. It's all on PKL. He's been struggling a lot for Luminosity into this first half. Now will be the time to step up. He's able to get one, nearly a second. As survives just on 2 HP. And that will be Renegades winning out the half 10-5.
That's a very, very cool half from Renegades. Changing the pace a couple times really threw off Luminosity. All the hunts took their toll, taking the money away, making it really, really difficult for Luminosity to kind of string rounds together. There wasn't a whole lot of success on the retakes for Luminosity. I think they were only successful one time of like maybe the 3 or 4 that we saw. So a great T-Hap put together for Renegades.
Yeah, I mean, they look fantastic really from start to finish. There was never a time where I got too worried for them. I mean, this boost was nice, but I mean, that was one of the only rounds we actually saw them get towards the later stages of the game, and everything was at such a huge cost. Renegades had such a huge bank accumulated that getting anything done there was very tricky for them.
Now, it's not all doom and gloom. I think part of the reason why it feels so dominant for Renegades is, they had so much success towards like the later stages of that opening half. Luminosity had some good things put together early on. We just didn't see a whole lot down the stretch. 5 rounds is more than enough, obviously, to switch sides and be able to rattle them off, especially starting with the pistol round. Cash is a map, you can make these comebacks happen.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, now it is Luminosity's chance to set the pace. Renegades, we saw them find a lot of success over in mid, for example. We saw them kind of do a very good job of controlling the pace of things over on the T side. Now Luminosity have that privilege. I think maybe if they start strong, find themselves the pistol, they are by no means out of this yet.
Some information grabbed by Aza, jumping in, spotting the head of Showtime. There's Nifty in mid as well. Jacob over towards the B bomb site. He's playing Rotator. He's got smoke and a kit. Here comes the hit from Luminosity. They do have 2 to 3 players boosted up in mid. It'll be a delayed take, I would imagine. Hoping someone tries to rotate over through highway. It's not happening. Still haven't made their move. Just now, they're going to start pouncing. There it is. Now Renegades have to make a decision. Alza has to get aggressive somewhere. Yell just used his entire clip in team main. That's a kill that needs to happen. He turns away at the wrong moment. Pressure is applied up highway by Luminosity just at the right moment. A tricky pistol route, and it works perfectly.
Yeah, that's the start the Luminosity needed. Now's their shot to try and claw this one back to an 8-10 scoreline before that first buy comes in from Renegades. It's just, can they stave off this coming force buy? Going to have 3 UMPs, 2 rifles, and PKL, and it looks like it's going to be a B play off the bat. They're going to try and switch up the pace. Already now, Jacob snuck by. Don't think anyone spotted that, and the spawns are pretty good for B. JKS, the bait and switch, peeks around the corner. Now they go pushing into Jacob, who's able to drop himself too. Man advantage taken for Renegades. Bombs down out in the open as well, and that's massive. They have to go in and get that. They do have the utility to smoke off heaven.
Oh, they're getting trapped though. Alza needs to calm down. He's got the retreat cut off for Luminosity. Oh, but he's gonna push forward. He's gonna get killed. That opens up the avenue to fall back. The bomb is still dropped in the open, so it's dangerous for Luminosity. And all the pistols are here. Renegades have such a good chance to turn this around. Do not want to give it away. They're waiting for another mistake out of Renegades. Not happening yet. Yell is one deagle bullet away from death, and Ustilo finds it.
Nifty. Here's the man. Cross by. Only with the USP goes ahead and decapitates him. It's PKL. 1 versus 2 now. That bomb's still down out in the open. 3 HP and a dream. Struggled a bit in the first half. Now looking to try and hold on to a round that should have been easy for Luminosity. And that bomb just taunting him as it resides out in the open. Nifty dashes across the site. PKL, things just got that much more tricky. Now they can just batten down the hatches together. Look to try and trade. PKL, only 15 seconds. He has to move quickly here. Doesn't have any time to work with. And Nifty picks it up. Renegade's going to be straight back in with an 11th. The AK's scavenged and picked up. Brought forward into the next round. And that is massive from them. It all started with these 2 frags from Jacob. The bomb gets dropped in the middle of the site, and things go downhill from there.
The follow-up nades as well are phenomenal from Renegades over there towards the B-bomb site. I want to point out, just because, I mean, when we spectated and we're watching, that was PKL in that clutch, I believe, if my short-term memory doesn't fail me. I mean, it looks like there's no way he could win that with 3 HP and an AK-47 and a 1-on-2. But Renegades played that pretty much perfectly to ensure that you really can't lose that round. There are ways to lose that. If you overpeak, if you go for the kill, if your teammate tells you he's low and you kind of overextend yourself. The way that they played that is like the perfect scenario to play a 2-on-1 to ensure that there is no chance. You're not committing to any fight. You know he has to go get the bomb and plant in the site. That was just really, really well done from Renegades. And plays like that deserve to be shouted out. They're fundamentally strong plays.
Yeah, definitely so. Well, now for Luminosity, things do get tricky. They force brought down what they can. They're over in mid. 3 players here. Nifty has just let them slip on by. Hang on, and it's injury off the vent angle. Neck is forced back. Nifty can call for some support from Ustilo as he currently watches Highway. Right now for Luminosity, the bomb's starting to rotate back round over towards main. Looks like will be the A play. You have Cello who can start to come in late up from mid. Gonna boost another player up to try and help him out. The biggest problem here is Ustilo has already made his way up into main. He will be spotted out. Tags yelled out, finished off by Showtime. Now the rotations have to come in. It's Azza to try and hold down the site. Gonna find himself 1v4 effectively here till his teammates get to the scene. He had to soak that aggression up like a sponge, but they got rid of Sponge a long time ago. JKS left 1v4, able to go ahead and get 1. Time ticks low for Luminosity. They will get the bomb down, and JKS has to form a hasty retreat. Luminosity, they steal around back.
I mean, they had to earn that one, right? They had to take out Ustilo in a main, who was in a great position, missed his opportunity for a kill. They take out Azza, whose flash peek was kind of poorly timed. Yeah, I mean, it's just a bummer. Renegades had a couple advantages in that round that they just let throw away by some missed chances, missed opportunities. CZ's coming alive, and then once you get Luminosity, I mean, these guys are talented players. So once you get them into open spaces with Deagles and with CZs, they get so deadly. The tough part is that peek from Azza. It's hard to say it was wrong because, I mean, he at least does it with a flashbang and with, a couple, different timing, it might work. But his teammates were just arriving to the site. So the fact that that's when he dies, like, when his teammates just get there, if he's alive in the bomb site and just gets 1 kill, prevents them from entering the site, that rotation has so much more impact. But once he dies, the 2 rotators are stuck in no man's land where they can't quite push forward because they've lost the bomb site, and they can't quite fall back because they have to run the gauntlet against Luminosity players who already have control of forklift. So it all just kind of crumbles from there.
Well, for JKS, he was able to carry forward the AK at least. Cello opens up. Nifty's already gone down. And Luminosity this time not looking to try and give this round to Renegades. JKS with the AK over in mid. Gonna start a hasty retreat up from Highway. Luminosity, they're being very cautious. They remember fondly what happened in that second round. So now they're stacked up over in main, ready to head in. He still is going to try his hand at some aggression. He's running in and get a full prey to Cello. That's the A-bomb site opened up wide, and Renegades starting this rotation back round. Going to be a big ask of JKS. Try and do damage with the AK. Smoke goes down for the cross.
At this point, you fall back if you're Renegades and you protect the AK-47. You don't let that get wiped out. Go bunker down in CT spawn. Use all the APCs and everything, whatever. Maybe the B-bomb site if you'd really like to. But that's the key you want to bring into the next round. So it's going to be 8-11 when all is said and done here. A nice recovery from Luminosity if you're losing that second round. They're back on track. Peeks from Jacob. Cello out in the open. He's kind of just standing here challenging it. No one else going to follow up. JKM sure to fall here. There's no getting back from this. It's ride or die at this point.
Nope. There you go. Finally going to get dealt with. Neck is continuing the hunt. That's the corner. As is able to find him. The trade should come in from Yale. Now JKS doesn't want to go down here. This was the one thing that they wanted to carry forward. He has players wrapping from both sides. Tries to get away. Able to drop Showtime, and he will save the AK in it to this round. On the back of that.
It's big. Another opportunity to allow him to cause some damage. So you get some smokes, you get some flashbangs, and you play very mobile with JKS. You ask him where he wants to take a fight. You don't necessarily have to get aggressive, but you want to put him in a position where you can pop flash him into some kind of a peak. You just want him to get at least one opening kill for the team. There's Yell with an AWP. The shot is baited out by Azza. And it's going to be mid where they choose to go. They're going to choose to reverse boost. There is a player watching this. It's Cello. And there are the shots, but JKS wins it anyways. He was brought down to about 61 HP, and he's going to get away. So that's a very nice opening for Renegades.
Yeah, it's very much throwing some chaos the way of Luminosity. They've had to slow right down, and now they're very weary of JKS over in mid. They're going to get rid of him, but Ustillo in the meantime, he's gone aggressive up through main. Showtime's desperately trying to get this AK back, and the timing was almost there for Ustillo to find it. Now Showtime is weary. I think he might have actually seen him start to round the corner there. And
I think more than likely a teammate saw the dot show up on the radar. He didn't seem to have a care in the world as he was jumping up on that truck, but either way, he's wise to it now. And without that AK-47 in JKS's hands, and it hasn't been salvaged by anyone on Renegades, there's not really a whole lot of aggressive moves they can make here. Just waiting to see where Luminosity goes in hopes that one of these stacks. It's all on Jacob and Ustillo. There's one dropped, and the double from the CZ can't happen, but it was there. And that would have been the bomb, which would have been pretty cool for Renegades. But it's not to be. Save the AK again. No reason to go for this. Play the economy game moving forward.
yeah, going to be a 9th round for Luminosity. 11-9 as they start to pull this back on their T side. Of course, the 4 rounds that we have seen them get. 3 of the rounds, rather, been on the back of a weakened economy for Renegades, but still, they're able to seize back the round that they lost with a force of their own in round 3. Now for Renegades, that buy does come in, and they can field an AWP thanks to JKS saving the AK, not having to invest in the previous round for the force. The AWP can come out.
I always imagine, every time I remember that Kassad coaches this Renegades team, I always imagine him just pulling his hair out watching some of these games. He's very, I think he's a very good and underrated coach. But I know there's been a lot of fundamental mistakes with Renegades throughout, through some of their struggles and failures to qualify that he's been very expressive about on stage. He was actually, at the major, he was the coach that E-League had to go up and ask him, be like, listen, we can't have you shouting swear words all across the studio anymore. We need you to clean up the language. We have cameras rolling that we are trying to use for documentaries. So that was quite funny. I thought it was funny. You're not laughing. So.
I mean, I don't really laugh a lot.
Okay.
I'm quite a boring individual.
All right.
Let's be honest, Jason.
Okay.
But here we go. The one thing that does excite me is good Counter-Strike. Are we going to see any of that over in mid? Looks like we are. As Anu still mop things up. Yell gets nothing done. PKL going to have his teammate's body flop on onto him. Suddenly it's a 2-on-5, and the second Renegades have rifles in their hands. They are back in control. At least that's how things look early on. Showtime going to try his luck over here towards B. JKS and Utility to worry about. Flash goes out, Utility peeks into it. Showtime gets one, but JKS trades, and now it's PKL. 1v4. Switch on Whitebox, sends him back. The aggression from Nifty into main. It could be his demise. There it is. Nifty finds it. Team Ace, everyone frags for Renegades as they lock in at their 12th round. That's the economy of Luminosity in a bit of an awkward place. They can field a bye here thanks to Showtime and PKL being pretty well off.
Yeah, just loaded. But I mean that takes a lot out of them. This is a huge round for Luminosity in the context of this game. If they lose this, it's a deep hole to dig themselves out of. If they win it, you almost feel like the comeback is on. Double up setup they're going against. This flashes out. Looks like they almost want to do. I mean, there's the bomb and one other towards Boost, and there was 3 towards B. So they've slowed things down. They've at least helped the team on Luminosity side of things take over towards Sunroom. Safely avoid any damage from the AWPs. But Jacob has an advanced position, and that's a good kill. Immediate dink in the follow-up spray, and Yell has bailed out. He's going home.
Yeah, he's going to rejoin the rest of Luminosity over in mid.
Oh, the timing on Neck that's so awkward. That's so awkward. He's all the way up highway as well. Oh, he fell. He was found by Ustilo. That's unfortunate. There's a good kill from Azza. I thought Neckes might be the one to make the play, but he loses the fight.
Azza gets burnt out. You hate to see that happen. Showtime just roasts him there inside the site. Yell gonna flick back. Does drop out Jacob, and now things get very problematic for Renegades in the blink of an eye. It's all on JKS, the lone B rotator, as he starts to peek out mid. Yell finds the frag as he lingers around over in middle. Luminosity paying its fair bit of attention here on their T side in comparison to their CT side earlier on. And now Renegades, it's them with the battered and broken economy.
It really is. I mean, this is why I said that round was so huge for Luminosity to make this comeback happen. I mean, look at what Renegades has to work with. So Luminosity a chance here to inch it closer to being all tied up. Heartbreaking for Renegades with that double op setup they had. It's somehow at the end of that, when it gets into a 2-on-2, the only weapons that are left are the 2 ops, and it's just a very tough situation. So Luminosity doing well to stay alive here. Neck is watching for a peek in mid. All quiet across the map as Luminosity is hoping for a gift from Renegades.
Ooh. Nifty just dancing around the corner. Neck is going to be holding mid. Luminosity, they've slowed right down. Waiting to see if any aggression comes out from Renegades. They've been caught off guard by it quite a few times here, both on their T and CT side. So this time they don't want to throw any chances of that happening into the mix. Waited a good amount of time to see if Renegades try their hand anywhere. Now this push in towards A looks like it's about to come through. There are 3 players here for Renegades, with a 4th over in mid in the form of Nifty. See CZ's up close. Can they do the damage? I'm gonna go in to clear out MBK. Nifty's rotated up. 35 seconds here. Time gonna be a bit of a problem for them if these CZs can slow them down. To make their way in, Jacob finds the first. PKL's fully blind. He's going to go down as well, and it's a bit of a slaughter right now. Luminosity trying to claw things back, which they will. Showtime and Yell almost getting the job done, but JKS rains down death. Yell's left 1v1, and time is ticking very, very low here. It's JKS inside the site, peeks out wide, shuts him down, and Renegades, they somehow pick themselves up a 13th round. Jason, what went on there?
I mean, it's just so many bodies. Renegades just kind of took the risk, and they saw the utility coming out for Luminosity. It seemed like Luminosity wanted to kind of bait a reaction with that first round of utility, and then once the second round of utility comes in, Renegades has basically got 4 players at that A bomb site. Luminosity gets a couple kills. They think they've gained enough ground to take that bomb site, and just more keep following up. And because they got those first 2 kills, everyone else from Luminosity is stuck back. You can see here, they're stuck in Team A, or A main. They can't get out to like really trade effectively any of those kills. And just the sheer amount of numbers and bodies that Renegades is able to throw at it just eventually whittles down the Brazilian force. And now they're the ones back onto the pistols. So heartbreak in many different fashions. This is, by the way, now, what, two ecos or like half buys that Renegades has won in this half. So you're not going to make a whole lot of comebacks from 5 to 10 going into the second half where you do everything right, except you lose two anti-ecos, anti-force buys.
I mean, you really hate to see that. Luminosity, I mean, now they have to try and pull a Renegades. They have to try and secure this with just pistols. Smoke goes back down over him, making a delay this push from Luminosity. Nifty's there with the AWP, as is over on Highway. Jacob boosted up into vents. It is going to be a slaughter over in mid if Luminosity stick to this. There were 3 players there early on. Looks like they might have had a bit of a change of heart. Ooh, Nifty. Might be sweating under the collar a little bit there as he is tagged by the Deeg. Doesn't want to risk re-peeking into that, so he'll just flash himself out of that situation. You still have Azza and Jacob, though, with this crossfire setup. The 3-pronged approach over in mid is devastatingly strong if this push comes through. It already shuts down Showtime, and on the back of that, they're going to hightail it over here towards A. 3 players ready to go in. You still and Azza holding this off from Truck and Highway, respectively. And already, actually, players have snuck out. They're over on Forklift. Can they go running away? Azza and you still, they get shut down. The bombs drop down in the open. It's all on PKL, a 1v5. And that's very much too much to ask there. Luminosity don't manage to get anything done in that round. Renegades will be on to a 14th.
Yeah, they that's very nice from Renegades. Yeah, they did sneak out A main, but I mean the retake is really smart from Renegades. You don't risk any of your own economy, which has dictated such a big portion of this game down the stretch. And also the fact that Utilo spotted it. It's only dangerous if no one sees it, right? So the fact that Utilo saw it and is able to swing out wide and just take the fight, that's quite nice. Still with some cover of the truck. Another important buy for Luminosity. They're low on utility, though. They have 4 smokes, only 2 flashbangs, only 1 Molotov, so you can't be too fancy. You can't do one of those executes to bait out utility, bait out reaction. That's great spam, though. Unfortunately, it doesn't yield a kill. If it had, it would have been great, but Nifty's also been brought down towards the B bomb site, and there goes Jacob, so somehow Luminosity, it seems like they haven't even really had to do a whole lot, and they've been given a kill and a heck of a lot of damage out of Azza and Nifty.
Yeah, so if you're Luminosity here, you've grabbed yourselves the man advantage. You know, you've got decent bit of utility to work with. Jason, what would you say the plan of action is here?
For Renegades?
Yeah, for Luminosity.
For Luminosity? I mean, oh, this is going to be, I mean, obviously just a B hit, essentially. They're all rotated over. You know, at this point, you've spread the defense thin. You're going to have, like, a really, really weak point. Usually, there'd be some kind of a player in mid to kind of spot between each of the bomb sites. But, I mean, JKS, they're playing it smart. And actually, if JKS doesn't get lucky here with a kill or 2 through the spray, which he has, I was going to say you might just call for the save, but it doesn't matter. JKS somehow just randomly turns it around, does more damage through the smoke. JKS is an absolute monster at the moment, and single-handedly, with no vision, has given his team a chance to retake this. Look at all the utility as well for these low HP players.
Yeah, they've got so much to wipe out the remaining players. That nade on Azza can do so much. And Luminosity, they do it according to old two... blah, blah. Screwed that line up. It was a good joke, had it already, but we'll just move on. Here we go. Yelp. Pinned down on the site. Molotov actually misses.
Oh, they're going to win this one. Yell's at great position. Oh, that's a flashbang and a half. The nade finally comes in. Good trades. PKL still alive, though, and he's got a huge health advantage. And he's going to take down Azza. So that round had swings in both directions. Yeah. But it comes out in the side of Luminosity. Renegade still has money, but this is going to deplete the coffers.
I mean, that was a round that looked like... I mean, it was so back and forth, Jason. It started off... You know, you thought Luminosity were going to take it. You kind of said it all relied on JKS finding shots through the smoke. Somehow he finds 2, almost 3, in fact. And, you know, I mean, I figured with all the utility they had, all the players that were low, that was around for Renegades. But Luminosity, they managed to take it.
That was quite the fun round. Here we are again, though. 14-11, Luminosity. Somehow still with some of the mistakes they made, still in this game, still with the chance to reset Renegades here and keep it close. Almost out of utility with a minute and a half left. There's only, you know, 2 players with nades left still. 2 smokes, Molotov, 3 flashbangs. How do they want to use them? Nifty in mid with the AWP. This could catch him off guard, especially being boosted over. There's the flash out. Nifty's blind. He's forced away. It also gives him the intel of where the op is.
Oh, Luminosity, they've got control of mid. Question is now, what do they do with this? They're going to be looking to try and split into B by the looks of things. Azza could uncover this whole deadly plot, but instead, going to start to wrap over towards B. Yell, the man on the entry for Luminosity, JKS and Jacob. Try and hold down the fort of B. Nifty starts to rotate around the utility, keeping Luminosity at bay as they start to push in. Showtime is able to open up. Jacob now peeks out. He only gets one before Yell's there to trade. Man advantage kept in favor of Luminosity. They go ahead and get the bomb down. And now for Renegades, save call comes on in. Ustillo falls back in towards 8. The rest of the guys start to form an exit. Luminosity will be into a 12th round.
I didn't see who killed Jacob inside the bomb site, or not Jacob, JKS, excuse me, but that's a huge kill to get. Just sideswiping with the CZ, I believe it was, at long range as well. Yell is having a very nice game. You can see on the scoreboard, 26 and 16. That's a huge, huge performance. Seemed like Renegades had everything they really needed to hold off that bomb site. There's Nifty with the ult chiming in. Huge that they're able to save that weapon. And Renegades might be... yeah, they'll buy him this next round. They're going to have essentially nothing. There could be UMPs that are dropped over, but at the very least, the other two players will be able to get, you know, upgraded pistols, and you have a lot to work with on Azza and Ustillo. You can have full kits of utility. Unless maybe Nifty if he wants to drop a UMP over. But you can put together a really nice buy here if you're Renegades.
And Luminosity going to keep things simple. AKs across the board. I'm going to try and take this round a little bit faster than what we've seen previously with 3 players over towards Squeaky. That does look to be the case. Nifty's holding close, and I mean, this is probably the worst thing for him. 1 player in Squeaky's bad enough, but 3. Jacob's able to get 1, actually a second with the USP. Still no fan through the smoke, and that's massive from PKL. 2 entries to get them into the site. Azza and JKS all that remain.
Oh, Nifty. Well, Azza and JKS, the M4s in hand. And again, I don't think they can really rotate. They need these weapons. The money is just not there. Economy becoming an opponent at this point. So they're going to fall away. They do lose that AWP, which means that's a weapon they won't have. Which, by the way, I mean, now that we think about it, I don't think it's really been too effective for the Renegades on this CT side. We haven't really had to say Nifty's name a whole lot in terms of getting picks, in terms of any crazy sequences with the ops. So, been tough wielding that weapon for one of the young and rising stars in the region.
Yeah, I think, you know, when he's kind of in his element with the AWP, he's a very, very unstoppable force. He's a hard player to try and contend with. And it's a bit of a shame because, as you pointed out, we haven't really seen him get too much done. He has been struggling a hell of a lot, and, you know, in kind of the rounds that they've won, it seems like Renegades have almost kind of mopped things up before he even arrives on the scene. But,
yeah, he hasn't been involved in a whole lot. This has been a pretty decent spread performance from Renegades, though. JKM, Azza, and you saw, I think, all within 2 or 3 kills of each other, so that's quite nice. Nekiz wanted to go for a peek there, but he's scared away by a flashbang. Yell's going to back off from the flames. He'll get reboosted. Good damage done to Ustillo and Nifty, though, both down below half HP. Here's one of those setups in mid. I mean, part of the reason why this is so risky, there's 3 players here. It's still not easy to hold, and you really have to burn a lot of utility, even if you don't feel the pressure. You have to throw smokes and refresh that smoke in main. You have to drop Molotovs just to get out. So it's a big, big investment in a lot of different ways for Renegades to hold mid like this.
Yeah, and I mean, as you kind of pointed out, like it's a huge drain for the fact that even though, you know, Luminosity don't really have anyone over in middle right now, they're having to refresh that smoke down in mid. We've seen them put, well, I think it's 3 smokes there now.
And just the investment of manpower as well. There's 3 players there. There's always 2. I mean, Jacob might rotate up towards A up highway, but you have at least 2 players there. So you have a lot of resources committed to one side of the map, and at the moment it's yielding you nothing. Azza's brought down to 14 HP, does win that battle through the door, but the rest of his teammates, they can't really help him. They're falling themselves, and Azza, blind with no HP, can't fight.
He's still on JKS, left JKS. First man to arrive, but also first man to fall. Yell's going to double down at the end, and that's Luminosity to find a 14th. And, well, I mean, for Renegades now, the money's gotten pretty tight. They're going to partial buy down at $2,000. Sticking to this round what they can.
Here's what I will say. That round that Nifty took that position in front of Squeaky Door, where they had 2 M4s in the AWP, and everyone was sitting right around 2,000, and they chose not to buy. I think that's where you do buy on those other 2 players, because you have the AWP and the M4 surrounding it, especially if you're making this investment now, because this is essentially the same investment they could have made in that round. You just have more of a supporting cast.
Yeah, it does seem odd. And, I mean, this round hasn't exactly panned out for them. Az has gone aggressive up through mid. Cello spots him out, shuts him down. It looks to be a very clean round for Luminosity. And I mean, that was a point in time where I didn't think they stood that much of a chance, right? We see this go 5-10 in the first half in favor of Renegades. Now they've swapped it completely on its head. They're about to take themselves a 15th unless Ustilo and JKS can do something truly magnificent. And I mean, the odds are very much stacked against them here. Ustilo's on his lonesome. Here's Squeaky Door open. PKL's in there. They get spiked. Ustilo then falls, and it's all on JKS, 20 HP. This round is going to go the way of Luminosity. I think that's one even I can call, Jason. As
Nailed it.
they go ahead and reach match point, 15
so
to
down on
14.
yourself.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, you know it's coming.
Watch out, I'll be after your job next, Jason.
Well, last chance saloon for the Renegades. Up in hands of Nifty. They've got great utility. I mean, this is everybody you'd want to be able to force overtime. 2 kits as well. Tough part is they've just been battered so many rounds in a row across this map. Luminosity, in this little streak that they've had towards the end, has just been the dominant side. So what does Renegade switch up again? They have some presence toward mid. It's not as heavy as before. It's not 3 players. They don't have anyone underneath boost. They're in positions where you don't have to refresh all those smokes and use your utility. 1 player in vents, 1 back towards highway box. Showtime back in T-spawn with an AWP, looking for any push towards the B bomb site. Gonna switch out to his AK-47. That's how much money they had.
Yeah, just dropping guns over in spawn now for Luminosity. They're gonna start to group up over here towards B. JKS and Nifty lie in wait here. And now for Luminosity, they haven't signaled anything. Renegades have no idea as to what's going on. Jacob can be fairly quick on the rotate. JKS is up in the vents. He's going to be the first point of contact here, and Neck is. Doesn't manage to spot it. Flashes go in. It's not enough to deter the push as they start to make their way into the site. Nifty, he has to come up massive here. He takes the first and a second. Cello's gone down. Nifty's in with 3, and that is fantastic. As he goes out and gets a hat-trick inside the B-bomb site, the bombs drop down in the open. And now it's Yell and PKL left. They're going to get burnt back. Grouped up, trying to make their way in, and Nifty, he's done more than enough to make this possible and take this through to overtime. 15 seconds left. They're going to be up against it. Time's ticking low. The Molotovs held them back. Yell going to be on the entry. Nifty's in with 4, wants to try and take the ace. Dances around the smoke, but Az is going to steal it from him.
What a time for Nifty to show up. That is incredible. That might be one of the craziest sequences of off shots I've seen in quite some time. Those were beautiful shots from Nifty.
Especially when you consider he's not had a very big game. We kind of just brought it up rounds ago saying how the AWP on the CT side hasn't really worked out for them. And then suddenly he's the star that they needed to lock down B and take us through to OT. Yeah,
that was very, very nice. Really good hold. There's no logical reason why. I mean, it didn't even look like Renegades would have a chance because Nifty was isolated. That Molotov in towards Checkered was preventing JKS from dropping out and actually helping. He even had a pop flash. That the timing of it when it was thrown by Nifty actually got Nifty blind. This shot is stellar. This shot is even better. That's good stuff from Nifty.
Yeah, I mean, he manages to get it done with no reason nor rhyme. But Jason, we'll be heading through to overtime.
Yes, we are.
And this is our first one of this NA season on day 1. You love to see that.
You do. Let's just get them out of the way early. I mean, this is it's so crazy. It's crazy to just think both teams. It feels like Renegades kind of lost the plow with their economy towards the end of that second half, and then it felt like Luminosity, lost their 2 eco rounds. So both of these teams have had, their fair shot at just winning this match outright in regulation, and both of them have kind of dropped the ball in different ways, but kind of prevented them from closing things out cleanly.
Yeah, one man who I think has been doing quite well is Jacob. He stepped in, trying to fill the boots of Naf. That is no easy task. Naf was very much kind of the driving force within this roster. And, you know, I mean, maybe not a Naf-like performance, but he has been putting up numbers. It's not like he's been the weak link for the team, right? Which I think was everyone's biggest fear, was you kind of bring in this player and you see him just going to be something you can exploit time and time again. Hasn't really kind of played at that much of a competitive level for a while, but he's been putting up numbers right now.
Yeah, Jacob's another one of those players who had so much hype and excitement around him as a player, like around 2015, early 2016, that he still kind of gets judged by it.
Yeah.
Which at times is a bit harsh. He's had a lot of opportunities, but certainly in a team right now that he can carve a role out for himself, and a very important role at that. If he can continue playing well. Yell on the other side of things, and the Luminosity side of things, has been phenomenal. And you could just see how much that round might have meant to Nifty to get his confidence back, because he knows the upper's there, and he still takes that peak. And even wins the duel. I mean, he doesn't get the kill, but he does the damage.
Yeah, I mean, Yell's someone we've seen been very keen to take these early duels, but now being tagged to 39 HP, I imagine that's going to affect it quite a lot. You don't want to risk having him go down to the early engagements. Now, Nifty will be flashed out of mid. That allows Nekkers to slip on and by. He's made his way up to vents. And on the back of this, I imagine we're going to see Luminosity now look to split into B. It's something they've been a fan of doing. They've often had success from it. Nifty isn't here this time just to completely ruin their day either. Instead, it's JKS and Jacob,
Who have equally ruined some of these hits.
Yeah, that's
if you
very
think
true.
back to the second round of the second half of regulation. So flashbang out, JKS avoids it. The jump over spots him in too many targets and too many different distances and ranges and whatever you want to call it. Jacob's all alone inside the site. He's standing on fire. He's got nowhere to go except a headshot cello. He's got to stand his ground now, got to do more. They creep out. One more headshot. He gets a third as well. It's his turn to hold down the fort at this B bomb site. And even Yell, 1 HP, somehow just barely surviving. But Jacob's done all the work he needs to. He's going to go get himself a fourth. And what a massive hold, just as we talked about how well he's been playing. He steps up by himself.
I mean, that's just something about Renegades and stellar B-side defenses.
You have to say, great shots. I don't know why Luminosity was taking so long actually attacking the bomb site. They had all the nades in place. They had all the Molotovs. They had the smoke down on the lower choke point. No one was pressuring the site. There's no reason why he should be able to get away without being traded in that kind of a position. So, again, small mistake there, but it yields big results for Renegades. Great kill from Cello. Actually, Ozza's going to go for more. Good return.
Yeah, the flashes there actually held back Yell on the AWP, so there's no possibility to trade and keep things in the advantage of Luminosity. So Renegades, despite getting off to a shaky start in that round, losing Ustillo early on, they were able to trade things back and keep it even at least. On the back of this, Az is actually to keep the aggression going. Still holding off over towards main. Nekkers in the meantime snuck all the way out into middle. Jacob is in Z. But he has to be cautious. They haven't peeked mid in a while. They have no idea as to what the landscape is in this area. Nekkers has worked himself up into a corner. JKS, meanwhile, over towards B, going to be holding aggressive. Does run the risk of going down early. But Luminosity, they have their sights firmly fixed on A for the time being.
Yeah, Neck has the prime position. He gets to sit and chill in this spot. He's like, he's the player that everyone wants to be because he doesn't have to do anything. He just gets to bide his time and make his play based off what he's feeling at the moment. So he's kind of relying on some success, some kind of pressure to cause a rotation. Ideally, you want Jacob, who's in CT connector, to just swing out wide and look towards the A bomb site. Flashbang out. Nifty's got the timing. Opening kill. Now Nekkers makes his move. That's exactly it. There's the follow-up headshot. That's disgusting. Ozza the only one left. And he's still alive. Yell swinging out wide next, and he gets the kills. Good trades. It's still in a one-on-one. 10 seconds left, and the bomb is going to go down.
Could have made things very tricky for him. Nekkers gets the bomb down, but JKS gets the frag. And Renegades, they're on to a 17th. They're feeling good about this now as we head into the last round of the first half of overtime.
I mean, some phenomenal players stepping up for Renegades. First, we saw Nifty to get him here. Jacob in the previous round. That time, Ozza, great kills. Luminosity not able to find their way into the bomb site. I mean, brilliance from Nekkers, to be fair, to create something in middle. Not enough. 17 to 15 as Luminosity in danger of going down 0 to 3.
Yeah, the aggression. JKS and Jacob, they go down straight away. That's B. Left wide open and Nifty. He is fast on the rotate. It's taken Luminosity a bit of time to get in here and take advantage of the frags that they have found. Azza going to peek, and actually everyone's flashed, including Azza. Does go down to Neckers. I mean, that was awkward, to say the least. Nifty's going to get Molotov back out of heaven. Bomb plant will come in. Still like at a dance with the idea of pushing through that smoke. Waits for it to phase. I mean, Nifty, we've seen him with a fantastic 4K inside of this site on the hold. Now will be the time to get it on the retake. As he peeks out from heaven. Now there's one of the players in the site. They only have a little bit of utility to work with. Nifty's gone down. It's all on Ustillo. Luminosity, they know exactly where he is. They line up. Cello finds it. And that will be a 17-16 half. Still in favor of Renegades, but Luminosity win out one at the end.
Yeah, not bad, all things considered, in that overtime. There's some awkward moments for Azza, as some mistimed flashbangs just have him kind of sitting out in the open. Completely blind, like a helpless duck. I don't know why that would be a duck.
I mean, yeah.
We're going to roll with it.
It's a 4 AM metaphor.
Yeah, it's not bad, is it?
It's better than my attempt at one earlier. So, yeah.
It's not saying much. We've set the bar low, haven't we?
That's the way to do it, JC. You set the bar low, and then if you kind of do average, at least you've done better than people expected.
You have made that saying very verbose and complicated.
Yeah, you know, that's kind of my signature.
And you'll never be disappointed.
There you go.
You just clean it up, stop it there.
Just refining the metaphor. I like it. But yeah, 17-16, Jason. Not a bad showing from Renegades there in the first half of OT. And now moving on to the T side. We saw them still have kind of mixed results here. Of course, both teams doing well, but I think it was probably the better of their two sides. Yeah,
well, I mean, yeah, because they obviously won the most rounds. But I think the big thing to take away from that is Luminosity had a lot of success early on, but Renegades rattled off a whole lot of rounds in the later stages of the half. So we'll have to see. I mean, also, to be fair, Luminosity was under a lot of economic pressure on their own CT side. So, I mean, now at overtime, that problem is lessened, although they did invest in the double op setup. So we'll see how that goes. JKS gets spotted out. He wins that fight. Cello does tag him down a little bit. Flashbang out. That's going to force Showtime to fall back just a little bit, which is unfortunate because Renegades is about to turn the corner. They're doing it without smoke, so even less indication that it was coming in. And Luminosity realizes that they've been duped.
Yeah, rotations come in, but it's going to be double AWP in the retake. Now that's tricky to try and work with. Utility's doing a little bit of damage. I mean, it's the late lurk over in mid from JKS that could actually give them a bit of a way into the site as everyone currently resides down in CT. There's so much utility left. And there's still more going out. Second smoke goes down for CT. Now the retake comes in from Luminosity. Molotov up into the heaven, delays the push. PKL somehow burns out two. Neckers pivots back round, and JKS, he's left in a 1v4. Defuse being held by PKL. He gets it through the smoke. On the back of that, he might have actually done it. I think, yeah, he has. They don't have a kit on Neckers.
Oh, I don't understand how any of this happened. I mean, even with the kit, it wouldn't
there wouldn't have been enough time.
Okay, so the one critical mistake that you could kind of see forming, but you have to understand why. Renegades keeps two players in the site, one at the plant spot, one by the default plant spot, essentially. And one Molotov kills them both, just because there's nowhere else for them to go at that point because they know the op is perched up above. So that's huge for Luminosity. The spray through the smoke is quite nice. Also, the hero play to book it from mid to get there to throw the Molotov in towards upper to delay that retake a little bit longer. And then obviously, with it coming down to a defuse timer that's missed, all those flashbangs that kept delaying that retake for seconds, like, you know, additionally 5 seconds of Luminosity players being blind in some capacity, that's what helps win that round.
And well, now it's do or die for Luminosity. Renegades, they are one round away from closing this out. EL and PKL holding off main. PKL going to go aggressive here. Neck is on the highway position, going to start to rotate back. You kind of said this, Jason, if you go lax over in mid, you want to go aggressive somewhere else, and that's what they've done this time. PKL's up in main, gets some information here.
Yeah, I can hear all those footsteps. That's good stuff from him. He's going to back away now because he knows there's a large presence, doesn't want to get traded off, but That's quite nice from him. Mid take going well for Renegades. They have encountered no defense whatsoever. And now Renegades, they're going to transition into a B split, and could just be a disaster. 3 players here for Luminosity.
Yeah, they start to push on in. Showtime's the first to fall. Shall I go ahead and start to trade some back? But as it's quick to find him, now it's all on Neckers. He's actually able to go ahead and take himself too. Wants to get more work done. PKL's flanking round. JKS and Nifty have to try and deal with Neckers, and they can't. Nifty fully blind, and Neckers in with 4. Keeps the dream alive for Luminosity. They want to try and take us to double OT, Jason.
Neckers has had some incredible rounds. They haven't always converted to a win for his team, but over the course of this game, he's had some hugely impactful, just like really well-timed double kills. Obviously, that round is better than them all. More than anything, though, it's a phenomenal strategic call from Luminosity. I mean, keeping 3 players there for so long, that's really, really good stuff. And yes, we're going to come back to the studio really quick. You can see, oh, a little bit of hiccup. We're back. We're back. The water sounds always mean good things. That's not the right time for that. It's overtime, potential double overtime, and we're getting hiccups.
Yeah, I was pretty terrified there. Thought Nifty had mastered some sort of power.
Yeah. So I'm not entirely sure what's happening. It's looking like the way the players are kind of running around the map like headless chickens. We'll go back to the animal references. That there's going to be a restart because of that small piece of lag, I would imagine. This is obviously not a round that's being played in a serious fashion.
Yeah, because either out of these 2 teams.
Some great clutches, some great individual plays. We've seen it all. Neckers has stepped up, Nifty has stepped up, Jacob has done it as well for his team. This has been a really nice display from both of these squads.
Yeah, and Luminosity, they are desperate to try and take this one through to double overtime. 17-18 right now, and this next round decides their fate. As you pointed out, we've seen a fantastic recovery from Nifty in these last few rounds for Renegades. Along with that, Neck is actually, as you kind of pointed out, he had quite a few good rounds. It feels like a lot of the times we see him step up is when they need him to. He had been fairly quiet towards kind of the latter stages of that second half. We've seen a great resurgence from him as well.
Yeah.
In this overtime, he's been pivotal to the rounds that Luminosity have secured. It's just now the pressure is on. It all comes down to this one round.
Not this one round, though.
Not this round.
Not this one.
I'm curious to see what the plan is from Luminosity, right? I mean, on their CT side, they've shown once again they're going to go for this kind of lax mid play. I think a few rounds ago we saw it was Cello went aggressive over towards mid, and then they had a bit of a stack up towards A bomb site with 1 man on B, and that was something that I think punished them quite a lot. Is he went aggressive on mid all on his own, had no one to trade. They didn't go aggressive in A, so it felt like they tried to force that aggression in mid instead. And then if you recall, that was the round where we had that really weird instance of the player rotating off of B, and then it became the 4-on-4 retake, and it was just a mess.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see how it is they're going to go for this CT side, what it is they're planning to do in kind of this most important round.
Hello. Yeah, I mean, this is where it gets interesting because you obviously don't want to be the guy to make a mistake, so you're not necessarily being like the aggressive ones. I just want to see a big clutch.
A big clutch.
That's all I want.
For what team, Jason?
That's all I want in this world. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. You know, I like that.
Preferably,
you know?
being that it's 4 a.m., the team that's about to win would be quite nice.
That would, yeah. I mean,
if I had to make my choice.
I want to see us go through the double overtime. You know, I'm hoping that Luminosity can get this done.
Yeah.
On top of that, though, I think it'd be nice to see Renegades pick this up, just because then instantly, you know, 1 man at least loses today, and that of course, is going to be Pimp. He predicted the 2-0 for Luminosity.
Wow, you really don't like Pimp, do you?
I mean, it's not that I love the man, but it's just
you just want to see him suffer.
Yeah, pretty much. He's just got that look about him, you know.
That's fair. This was a really cool round. This was an incredible hold from Jacob. Some relatively poor trading. The crazy thing about that round is he had like nowhere else to go. If he had moved, he would have. If he had taken a step back, he would have been in flames. So,
yeah,
I mean, that's
they knew exactly where he was as well.
Yeah.
I mean, CT being smoked off, and the Incendiary being just behind him. It did feel a bit weird, the fact he was able to go ahead and get himself 3. I've seen some fantastic clutches from the Renegades side, and I hope that continues now. But the real kind of question for me now becomes is, I was kind of trying to get your opinion on it, is how do they go for this mid play over on that CT side? Because they've been leaving it, and do you think that's something that's really been benefiting Luminosity, or has that kind of been an area that Renegades have been quick to punish?
I don't think either team has really been that great at holding mid on the CT side. I think you just keep giving it up the way they have. I think it's too much of a drain on. And I would much rather see them give it up and take a mid control the way that we just saw them in the previous round. I think that's a smarter way to do things, especially considering if you have a double up setup, it's not that you can't do some kind of mid control, but if it fails, your double ups, like you have a really hard time kind of rotating into the correct positions to kind of fill the gaps in the defense. So I think that's where it gets scary when you have a double up. I'd prefer not to see it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and
to answer your question.
Yeah, no, and you know, the thing for me, I think Renegades were definitely the favourites coming into this. I think you could argue. I mean, even if you look at previous matchups, right? I think they had something like 10-5 in the last few times that they played. Like the actual wins go in the way of Renegades, and I think Jaken's done a good job of stepping up to the mark. I feel like the T side is definitely where. I mean, I imagined he would have done better, right? Normally, when you see a player come into a roster, it's a lot harder to kind of fill that role over on the CT side in a lot of these maps. But I think he's just had a strong performance in both, and that was kind of the thing that surprised me. I figured maybe CT side would be where they kind of got let down, but if you recall, it was him who was kind of kickstarting the rounds quite a lot. So I've been very impressed with that.
I just like seeing a Luminosity that's competitive, because I know there's been a lot of chatter about this team over the past like 2 years or year and a half that's been like one of the next, up and coming teams, a third team out of Brazil that's going to be challenging for spots at Pro League finals. And I just like seeing them do well. I think if I remember correctly, last season they were kind of in the running down the stretch. I can't remember exactly how close they were in the NA region, but it's just good to see them actually putting up a good fight. I know it doesn't surprise everybody, but someone like me who hasn't always seen this level in North American in the past year, it's really, really cool to watch. Especially someone like Yell with the AWP, he's been great.
Yeah, and I mean, I have to agree, right? And now they are like that second best team in Brazil. I mean, it's kind of by process of elimination, right?
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, they're the only ones left standing.
I don't know. That other team's still there. I imagine they're still playing together at some point.
Well, yeah, I think that the plan is for the other team, well, what was kind of left of 100 Thieves to come together and make a new team. I think they've split off, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if they've really played much yet.
No, that's been fun. That's been a fun progression, hasn't it?
I've enjoyed watching that team just destroy itself time and time again.
Right. Careful now. You have a large Brazilian viewership at the moment. Let's not anger them all.
It's been sad that that's happened, right? Because I think they're a
good
team.
Recovery.
I mean, it's a team that does have like a very high standard of play. It's a shame that they have had troubles kind of internally, right? Because I mean, I think my dream would be is if you kind of merge some of the players from this Luminosity roster with some of the ones that are now available. I think that Yell has a good potential to be someone who could kind of be like one of these next breakout players within the Brazilian region.
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly shown really good things, definitely in this match, and over some time as well, he's put together a pretty nice resume. So certainly someone to keep their eyes on. I know there's been a couple times when I've talked to some of the guys in SK that there's some names in this team they've thrown around that they're pretty impressed by. So there's definitely some talent on this team, and obviously we'll just see how they develop over a couple seasons of Pro League. We are back live. We're back. Remember, this is potentially the final round. This dictates double overtime. I think it's 17-18 at the moment, and it's Renegades who have 18.
Yeah.
So if Renegades wins this round, then the game is over. Luminosity wins, we go to double OT.
And well, what's the order of the day? Renegades can be boosting a man up into mid. That's JKS going over. Neckers is there, so they haven't elected to leave it open. Instead, they have the man on highway for that fast rotation over towards A. And for Renegades, 3 players in Squeaky. Looks like it's going to be the play in towards this A bomb site. Smoke actually going to fall just short of main, and I mean that's going to do Nifty some favors. Now he can kind of start to peek around, check some of the angles on red, and forklift. Flash goes out, and the guys at Worry and Squeaky have since vacated the premises.
This is cool though. You're Renegades. You're giving your star player time to get a pick in towards the bomb site. You're just patiently waiting. That smoke is going to bring the clock down to just beneath 30 seconds before it disappears. So Renegades don't have a whole lot of time to make this play, especially considering because there's no pressure over towards the B bomb site. Cello's already started to rotate over. There's 3 players here for Luminosity, and a 4th is going to be there very quickly.
Yeah, but over in mid, this could make all the difference. 2 players grouped on up for Renegades, looking to try and come in late. Now they start to go in. Yell finds the first with the AWP, and a second. Jacob going to bite the dust. JKS gets one back, and so does Azza. But Yell's still alive. He's been causing problems. Nifty shuts him down, and now it's Cello and Showtime. 2 versus 3 in the retake. Bomb goes down. Cello going to burn out JKS. Nifty misses that shot on the peak. Gotta go into this, finds the first, and now it's Cello left alive. Azza shuts him down, and that will be Renegades to win out the series. 19-17. They get it done. It took them a while. We had a little bit of a pause in there, but they managed to make it happen.
We had it all. We had tense moments, we had huge clutches, big-time performances, strategic outplays, economic woes, a technical timeout as well. It's good stuff.
You love it all.
It was a great battle. I think Nifty towards the end there, like you said, he came alive. That final round was all him. It was good stuff. Great win from Renegades. They're tested. We're going to see this matchup again. We're going to see it in another map coming up. So stay tuned. That is going to be after the break.
Incendiary out.